The Leos coming up against Kabarak University. That is Leos taking on Kabarak. Kicking us off. Strathmore Leos. Major Lamaitsa getting the required 10 meters for his side. Elton Amalemba to Brian. Gabriel Aimba. Gabi with a line break, passing it to Victor Mola. Mola to Brian. Amalemba to Barnabas. Barnabas passing it to the outside channels, meeting Samuel Wafula. Wafula takes 2-3 defenders to bring him down. Brian swinging it wide to Gabi. Gabi stops, stares, goes back. Brian steps. Brian steps again. That is Mwendwa Brian. He gets it to the wing and they lose it forward. Nijo taking his eye off the ball, probably thinking about the decision to ground the ball before he caught the ball. Letting Kabarak off the hook. But not a bad place to defend from deep in the Kabarak half. Kabarak opting to go to the boot. A foot race ensues. Ball stays in the field of play and eventually goes into touch. Our center referee is Saidi Kenya, taking us through the 14 minutes of this Pool D affair. Brian Mwenda will be feeding the scrum. Awaiting the ball on the outside channels will be Nigel Amaita with his center Elton Amalemba. Well positioned for that open side play. Perfect opportunity for the Leos. Mwendwa, Nijo, Amalemba takes on the defensive line. Tackled. Nijo, Brian, Elton, and company. That was Wafula. Damage shows, takes contact. Takes 1, 2, 3, and a hint of a turnover there. And the referee adjudges Kabarak to have been offside. Nijo Damis had an opportunity, 2v1 on the outside, but opted to go into contact. Gabi does the same, steps into contact, steps into the traffic. Barnabas, Brian Mwendwa with his step, classic step, and passing the ball backwards to the captain. Barnabas Owor. Ball is open. Elton Amalemba quick and fast to the ball. Nijo. Elton takes contact, and a counter coming through by Kabarak. Piling the numbers at the breakdown. And coming through the side as the referee signals for a penalty for the Leos. The Leos opt to go for a scrum down. Brian Mwendwa, a scrummer for the Leos. Comes down the blind, passing it out wide to Victor Mola. And the ball goes into touch. Referee not allowing a quick restart. Kabarak feeding the line out. Well taken. Beautiful line out routine there. Remember, Kabarak is coached by Leon Etich, former rugby player at Kisii Rugby Club and of course Nakuru RFC, as the Strathmore Leos are under the tutelage of Willis Foxy Ojal, who's currently supported by former Kenya Sevens and of course Kenya Sevens coach Charlie Kadovilis. Brian Mwendwa. Counter coming through there by Kabarak. Ball is open and it's hoofed forward. A foot race there. Mola looking to turn defense into attack. Elton, 2v1. Wafula on the outside channels. Wafula and big Wafula sizing up his opponent and taking him on. Try time. Strathmore Leos. Wafula. Samuel Wafula. Samuel Wafula, ladies and gentlemen, opening the scores for the Strathmore Leos side as we await Brian Mwendwa's conversion. And conversion is successful. A beautiful conversion there by Brian Mwendwa. And that is halftime. Center referee Saidi Kenya will be signaling the halftime break. You can see there Wafula taking on the last man on the wing. And showing and finally putting the ball on the ground. Celebrating. Try July. Halftime scores. Leos 7. Kabarak University 0. Ladies and gentlemen, Kabarak kicking us off the second half, trailing by a single converted try scored by Wafula in the first half and converted by Brian Mwendwa, who rises high. Barnabas takes the ball. Gabi to Mwendwa. Mwendwa takes, and a big clear out there by Strathmore Leos as the ball. Referee double blows his whistle. Assistant referee having a word. Most probably that clearance, that ruck, player came off his feet. Player came off his feet and probably could be a penalty. Could be a penalty to Kabarak. That would be a yellow card for a dangerous clearance at the breakdown. That is Wafula. Samuel Wafula scoring, but also having some time in the naughty boy chair. Samuel Wafula, ladies and gentlemen. Play is knocked forward. An opportunity. Gone banging there for Kabarak University, who had an extra man on the pitch. An extra opportunity to exploit the defensive line of the Strathmore Leos. But they kick away possession. Time now to defend that scrum down, having lost the ball forward. Brian Mwendwa feeds the scrum, but shoving and not shoving straight is the penalty. Elton Amalemba. And there goes Victor Mola. Clean pair of heels on the outside channels. Victor Mola. Ladies and gentlemen, Victor Mola. Victor Mola, ladies and gentlemen, going over for the Strathmore Leos second. One man down. Wouldn't hold the Strathmore Leos from attacking from deep. As Victor Mola makes his way to the try line. The conversion is unsuccessful. Strathmore Leos 12. Kabarak 0. Many thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Sportpesa National 7th Circuit, ladies and gentlemen. You are not late. This is the opening round of match day 1. This being the penultimate game of the opening round of fixtures. Next game will be the Menengai Oilers taking on Stallions Rugby. We'll then probably have a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back with the second round of fixtures. And during that break, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be having a special presentation, a small show called The Hard Tackles, where you get to discuss all matters rugby. Gabi Ayimba, no stranger to the try line. And there you have it, try time, Leos. And the celebration is led by Gabi Ayimba. Gabriel Ayimba. Brian Mwendwa gets the extra conversion. Changes made for the Strathmore Leos. Off goes Nigel Lamaita, Brian Mwendwa, and in goes I beg your pardon, that is Airo and Arnold Mwita, aka Escobar. Arnold Mwita, diminutive in figure but big at heart, has been a leader of the Leos and still is. Kickoff, traveling the required 10 meters. And on the pitch also for the Strathmore Leos is Stanislas Shikoli. Arnold passing it to Gabi. Gabi met on the blind side there with a big tackle. And an offload on the outside channels, ladies and gentlemen. That is a hero who steps into touch. Teddy Agutu making that defensive effort. Former Nakuru RFC player, that is Teddy Agutu, now playing straight for Kabarak Uni. Quick line out for Kabarak University. Looking to attack from deep, but the ball wasn't straight, and the referee awards a free kick to the Strathmore Leos. Leos looking to tap and go. Gabi taps, passing it to Barnabas. Barnabas to Shkoli. Shkoli isolating a smaller man and opting to go through the man instead of the space. Elton Amalemba on the outside channels. Well apprehended there by Kabarak University. Victor Mwita. Shkoli is flattened. And that's a turnover. Kabarak earn their reward. Shkoli was isolated, and that offered an opportunity for a jackal. Quick restart there. Victor Mola goes through the man once again, and earns another 5-pointer for the Strathmore Leos, bringing the scores to Strathmore Leos 24, Kabarak University 0. Try scorer Victor Mola. Arnold Muita looking to add the extra 2 points. And the conversion is successful from out wide. Strathmore Leos 26, Kabarak University 0. Kickoff, Arnold Muita. A kick travels 10, tapped into touch. And that should be the end of that game. Victor Saidi signals the end of that one. Full-time scores, Leos with the first run out of the day. Full-time scores, Leos 26, Kabarak Uni 0. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen.